We're Roger and Michelle. Romy. We began a great loop adventure in an aluminum trawler. But after those luminescent Bahamas waters, we didn't want to go back north. Now, we're dreaming of a bigger loop. So come aboard, join us as we take on the Mediterranean. In this episode, the boat we hoped to buy has a land survey and a disappointing sea trial. Which direction will we go? We tell you more and share the costs involved so far. It's the morning of the survey, and we found the boat. It was hard to find, but once we found the boat and we walked up to it, our initial maybe rose-colored glasses are off, or at least mine are. I can't believe I didn't see this on. Let me just show you. It needs some fiberglass repair. Obviously somebody ran into something, and which might not be a big deal, but it's not something I saw when we first saw the boat. So I'm a little anxious. I love the inside, but this is why you get a survey, to see how things are. A survey it's a lot of money, but it's worth every penny if it saves you from thousands and thousands of dollars later, or saves you from a bad decision. It's money well spent. About an hour's drive from Preveza is Riniesa Castle, the ruins of a medieval fortress for you to explore. Blending Greek and Roman architecture, the Theatre of Nicopolis lies on Preveza's outskirts. On the UNESCO World Heritage List, a 2.5-hour drive inland, lie the Holy Meteora Monasteries, one of Greece's most monastic communities, where monasteries sit perched atop steep rocks rising over 600 meters, and where you can walk the hundreds of stairs to visit 4 of these spectacular monasteries on any given day.
Boat passed the survey. Yay! Next thing is the sea trial. Well, the first time we saw the boat, it was the perfect boat. We'd walk away with it. Thankfully, we got a survey because it also allowed us to look at the boat the second time. And the second time, the rose-colored glasses were off. And we started noticing little things. It's all cosmetic. We're buying a boat that has strong bones, I think. But it's kind of funny. You can't make that knee-jerk reaction that you're going to buy the boat right away. You need to walk away. come back with it and look at it through a different lens, a critical lens. And when you do that, you know, you kind of have to go with the flow.
The rose-colored glasses, the first time we saw the boat, it had the layout that I wanted, the perfect layout, but it also had that feeling, that warm, fuzzy, cozy feeling that you know, it was an instant yes for us. And that's, you know, the rose-colored glasses, based on the feeling, all we saw were positive, 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 positive. And it's not that there were many negatives to see, but when you take those rose-colored glasses off, like, you see things like, I mean, all, like Roger said, totally cosmetic, but things like the mirrors in the bathroom, they show their age. Those, when you look at it without the rose-colored glasses, boy, they're in rough shape, but I mean, that's easily fixed. A few more scruffs and scratches than that I really didn't notice the first time. But the second time, if you look at something with a negative lens, you're really going to see everything negative, if you want to say it's negative. I would say the first time we saw the boat, it was like positive 100% all the way. Second time was maybe a little too negative, but it's nothing we can't live with, and we still have that same warm, cozy feeling that it's the boat for us. So we're really hoping that the sea trial works out okay.
So I think when we do the sea trial, we're going to have that, we'll call it negative lens on, just to make sure. This is our opportunity to make sure that everything is working, because we already know it's a perfect fit.
You sweetheart. Oh, he's so cute.
That's a big puppy.
You are a big puppy. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, yeah.
Bet you're warm.
Yeah. Oh, you're a good one. Who's the puppy? Yeah.
Cute puppy, aren't you? You're such a good puppy. You're such a good puppy.
You do not need to make pizza dough and go through anything complicated to make pizzas. Just grab some whole wheat pitas, spread on some tomato paste. This one has some mushrooms diced up, a bunch of mozzarella and Gouda cheese on mine. Roger has some other kind of cheese, but I don't remember. Whatever cheese you've got, throw it on there, and then we've topped it with some diced leek. I threw it in the oven for literally 5 minutes of pizza, and I guess it was probably a medium-high heat, probably around 175 Celsius. Yeah, and take it out. Go ahead, love. Tell me what you think. It's pizza night in Greece. Kind of pizza.
Well, that's amore.
In the Acherontos Canyon lies Hades' Gates, so named as the Acheron River, the river of souls or sorrows in Greek mythology, was thought to lead to Hades. In nearby Acheron Springs, you can walk or swim in its icy clear waters, thought to flow into the underworld. Further northwest lie the Papingo rock pools, where natural pools of icy waters form amongst limestone rocks sculpted by nature. The nearby Roman aqueduct of ancient Nicopolis was built in 31 BC, based on a 50-kilometer Roman-built network that supplied water to an ancient megalopolis.
Water test was a bit of a bummer.
We had our sea trial this morning and we're back on land here. I'm just glad that we actually had the sea trial.
What about that squeal? Because there was quite the squeal.
Quite the squeal. We already identified that the cutlass bearing was loose. And that really magnified once we got the prop rotating and we're on the water. It really made a squealing vibration, noise. I mean, there was no way you didn't know that was there. Cold engine start after a year of being stopped. I'd expect some smoke, and there was.
Yeah, but you're talking about smoke on the outside. There was smoke on the inside.
Yeah, there's. It looks like the wet exhaust pipe going to the outside has a crack in it, so it's seeping exhaust fumes inside as well as a little bit of seawater, and I guess that's why the bilge got wet. That's usually not a good sign. So we tracked it down, and we think it's the flexible hose for the exhaust. And there's a bend that goes through the floor, and we think that it was probably chafed and it cracked, leaking exhaust fluids and seawater into the boat. So that's definitely going to have to be addressed.
Yeah.
But
So-
looking on the outside, though, when it first started, there was a good amount of rust that came out, which made me think that there was salt water in this engine for a long time, and that was confirmed by the current owners, that they left the boat almost exactly 1 year ago, and when they left it, they left salt water in the engine. Salt water just sitting there in the engine for a year, not a good thing. So it leads me to believe I really want to have a look at that heat exchanger, the exhaust mixing elbow. Those are notorious for rotting from the inside out. And of course, that flexible hose to be replaced.
So the lesson is, don't cheap out. Get the land survey, get the sea trial, and you can't be afraid to renegotiate. Can't be afraid to walk away, which we are prepared to do.
Yes, we are.
But we need to renegotiate this before carrying on.
Without taking apart the engine, it's really hard to tell what kind of damage is done. So it could be as simple as maybe 100 euros for that flexible pipe, or it could touch 10,000 euros if you have to replace the heat exchanger and the mixing elbow for the exhaust, and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, it's a gamble. We did tell you we're going to look at the boat with a critical lens on the sea trial, and man, did we ever. But on the positive side, underway, it sailed quite nicely.
Yeah.
We were doing, I think it was, we were doing 7.5 knots at one point when we first started sailing. It didn't seem all that windy, so I think it goes pretty good. But it was, and then the wind died. It was just kind of funny. So we had to start that motor again. So we motored back to the dock, and so the surveyor is going to give us his written completed survey by Monday morning. And then we will present that to the owners and renegotiate the price. I'm not sure what we're going to ask for, but something definitely needs to be done. If they don't budge, we don't buy the boat.
Nope.
Nope.
You got to be prepared to walk.
Yeah, and we are prepared to walk.
It's kind of really disappointing. Everybody's like, sea trials, don't worry about that.
Yeah,
They're fine.
it's a slam dunk. Of course it's going to
not
work
always.
great. No, not this time. Oh, the nice thing about the sea trial was we were allowed to be there, as opposed to the
The land survey.
The land survey. We were kindly asked to leave. I wanted to get into every little nook and cranny just like the surveyor does, but he makes notes, vocal notes. And he said, yeah, he's going to lose his train of thought if I keep disturbing him. So, you know.
We had to go away.
We had to go away, and we did. That time again. Time to look at how much does it cost to actually find a boat. As you can see, totals 6,402 euros.
What?
Ouch. That's how much it costs. Well, some things related directly to getting the boat, you're in at least 2,000 euros, and that would be the survey, sea trial, car rentals, and the haul in and out. You're responsible for that, doesn't matter what boat you're buying. For us, our flights, 2,300 euros, 30-day apartment. Everybody told us we've been really fast at doing this, finding a boat and putting an offer in and so on. And we're coming up on our 30 days of our apartment rental here. So we're hopeful that we can get it within the 30 days. Then we'll just move on to the boat. Otherwise, we'll have to rent a hotel for an additional amount of time. The other stuff, pretty minimal local transfers, that's the bus and taxi. We had 4 days of car rental, 2 days to find a boat, 1 day for the land survey, 1 day for the sea trial. That's kind of a bare minimum. You could take taxis, but it would probably be 3 times as much. And the survey and haul out, which I already talked about, comes out to about 2,000 euros. So that's a little over $10,000 Canadian, and we still don't have a boat.
Oh, adds up, huh?
One other thing I bought was a $900 moisture meter, and so bought the top of the line, and I educated myself because I figured if we saw a lot of boats, I would test the decks for moisture first. That would save me $2,000 in survey fees. And sure enough, we looked at a boat that was a 2019, so you would think that's fairly new, and there's no way those decks were going to be moist. Turned out it was. The front deck, the whole thing read high on the moisture readings, and there was actually one part of the deck that was also spongy. So imagine if we got the surveyor in to do the moisture readings, spent $2,000 to find out that there's no chance we were going to buy that boat. So that $900 that I spent before coming, worth every penny.
Yeah. In the next episode, with so much money invested so far, can we seal the deal, or do we walk away?